A good way to create a spiral staircase model in SOLIDWORKS is to use a curve-driven pattern. In this exercise, I'll walk you through the process of creating a basic curve-driven pattern for a spiral staircase like the one you see here. From there, you can continue to add features to the staircase to make it as detailed as you like, and you can pattern the additional features using the same technique. First, I'll start a new part. I'll begin a new sketch on the top plane and sketch a circle to serve as the center of the spiral staircase. I'll exit the sketch and extrude the circle into a vertical shaft. Next, I'll start another new sketch on the right plane. I'll sketch a rectangle and make sure it's coincident with the center shaft. I'll exit the sketch and launch the extruded boss command. I'll use the midplane option, set the depth, and click the green check. Now I have the shaft as well as the first step. Next, I need to create a helix to define the spiral for the staircase. I'll go to Insert, Curve, and select Helix Spiral to launch the command. SOLIDWORKS asks me to choose a plane to sketch a circle to begin defining the helix. I'll again choose the top plane and sketch a circle. I'll make the circle the same diameter as the stair. When I exit the sketch, the Helix Property Manager appears. I'll specify a pitch and number of revolutions for the helix. I'll make the pitch pretty large and set the number of revolutions to 2. I'll choose a start angle of 0 and have this be a clockwise helix with no taper. The preview in the graphics area looks pretty good, so I'll click the green check and the helix is added. Now we have a stair created as well as the helix. I'll launch the curve-driven pattern feature from the command manager. In direction 1, I'll click the helix to specify the curve for the pattern. I'll create 25 equally spaced steps. Now before setting the curve and alignment methods, I'll scroll down and select the stair and the bodies to Pattern window. If you don't see a preview, make sure you have it enabled in the options at the bottom of the Property Manager. Let's look at the alignment options. For the curve method, Transform Curve will keep the X and Y distances from the curve to the seed feature maintained, while the Offset Curve method keeps the normal distance maintained. Since the curve we're working with is a helix, we could use either of the options here, and the results will be very similar. If we have Align to Seed selected, the pattern stairs will all have the same alignment as the first stair. And as you can see from the preview, this is not what we want to create a spiral staircase. The method we need to use is Tangent to Curve. However, if I try to create the pattern using the Tangent to Curve setting, SOLIDWORKS will not complete the feature, because I must first select the face normal to the curve to specify the direction of the tangency. The face that I need the pattern to be normal to is the center cylindrical shaft. But notice that I can't select it here because the curve does not lie on that face. In order to create the curve-driven pattern with the proper tangency, we must first create an intersection curve between the helix and the shaft. I'll cancel the curve-driven pattern for now. To create the intersection curve, I'll first start a new sketch on the right plane and sketch a simple line that connects the helix to the cylinder. I'll exit the sketch and go to Insert, Surface, Sweep. I'll choose the line I just sketched for the profile and the helix for the sweep path, and I'll click the green check to create the swept surface. Next, I'll go to Tools, Sketch Tools, and select Intersection Curve. Now in the Intersection Curve Property Manager, I'll select the swept surface along with the center cylinder, and I'll click the green check to create the intersection curve. I can now exit the sketch and hide the swept surface. To finish up, I'll relaunch the curve-driven pattern command. Instead of the helix, I'll choose the intersection curve for the pattern and set 25 equally spaced stairs. Like I mentioned earlier, this pattern needs to be tangent to the curve, and I'll select the center cylinder as the face normal. I'll add the stair and the bodies to pattern, and you can see the preview is now correct. When I click the green check, the stairs are created. To finish the model, you can now continue to create additional features and add detail to the staircase, and then reuse the same intersection curve and pattern setting to copy the additional features.